All right. So, good practice today. Very good energy from the players. I think this weekend, was a lot of distractions going on with schedule changes and the walk. So, I think today got back to normal, and you guys practiced really well today. Saturday was moved to Sunday as far as the scrimmage. Kind of similar scrimmages. As far as the first one, we did tackle half the scrimmage, so got a lot of work to do there. Defensively, I made a lot of explosive plays on offense, which again, is good and bad when one side's doing well. So, we are down a lot of players on defense, especially in the secondary. So got a lot of work to do, but a lot of opportunities for some down the line kids to play.
All right, we'll start off with David Johnson.
Yeah, Lane, if you will, can you kind of update us on the quarterback battle, what you're seeing there, and maybe if you're seeing some battles develop at other positions on the field?
Yeah, the quarterbacks both made some big plays and did some really good things. Which is a lot of the explosive plays we just discussed. So I'm very pleased with their production. They need to take care of the ball a little bit better, but like where they're going with that. We've got competition all over the place being a first year. And then, it's like pick out of a hat every day. You don't know who's going to be there. I get texts in the morning, these 3 people failed, COVID tests, and here's some more in close contact. So I don't know. It's hard to even figure out who our first and second units are because it's changing so much.
John, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, along those lines, Lane, I know you don't want to give out details, but how is it the secondary of have specific position groups been hit the hardest? Because that seems like the hardest thing to overcome is if there's multiple situations at one position.
Yeah, I think as far as COVID, the DBs were hit the worst. And then injury-wise, the tight ends have. So, but again, you got people rotating all over the place, because, there are a couple guys back, but when they first come back, they're not back. So, we first were told 14 days, but then they're not back because once after the 14 days, then they got to go get more tests to make sure they're okay. And then they've got to be worked back in slowly. So, it's almost like if you get it, you're out for 3 weeks. So it's a long time.
Is it harder to juggle? Some coaches have had years to build up depth, and they can have third teamers, fourth teamers, whatever. Is it harder to juggle than you could have anticipated?
Yeah, I think it's for a couple of reasons. One, we're not the deepest program in the conference. I don't think that would shock anyone. But 2, we got so little background with our guys. So, guy misses 2-3 weeks, we barely know them from a, person-to-person standpoint, but then they don't know our plays. Then they're out, if you've been in a program, you're one of these other programs, you've had, your seniors is their 4th year, you've had everybody for at least a year except for your incoming guys. They already know your stuff. So, actually for some programs where their rosters are, really built up, they probably wouldn't admit it. It's probably a good thing because they're going to have less injuries because less guys practicing. So, they're older guys, they're stars that already know everything. They're going to actually be more rested up throughout the year.
All right, we'll go to Parrish.
Lane, on your defensive backs, are there people right now, I guess not only defensive backs, but across the board, do you have people right now that you are concerned will miss the Florida game, or do you think most of these people you're talking about will be able to come back and receive some reps?
No, I think the people that'll miss the Florida game will be between now and then. I don't have the calendar, but isn't it like 24 days or something? So, if the people that will miss that are the guys that fail, the test next week and the week after that, or the week right before the game.
Tell us about your offensive line competition, please, the play going on there. How close are you to having 7 to 8 that you feel good about and can trust in a rotation?
Well, again, I'd say a week ago or so. So I think we've got 3 guys out in that group, that have been out for a while with it. I think 1 has it and 2 are close contact, if I recall. I can't keep them all straight. So, our medical report, like a dictionary. So I think there's 3 at that group, 1 that has it, 2 that are close contact. And so, and we've got another injury to a guy that would have been starting. So again, we're just rotating around. But, if everybody was healthy, feel really good about where that group is going with the top guys.
All right, we'll go to Ben.
Yeah, Lane, with the COVID hit to the secondary and the injuries, is that kind of what prompted the move of Mark Britt to safety, and how's he look there?
Yeah, that's the world we're in now. Like we talked about, if you don't have a lot of depth and now you have these issues, Mark Britt's true freshman, just got here and barely has had any practices, was doing good on offense. And we got hit so bad in a 48-hour period that we brought him in, talked to him, and the next day he started at safety. So that's where you're at. It's pretty crazy.
All right, we'll go to Nate.
Coach, what do you think would have to happen as far as the COVID situation for the SEC to maybe postpone or cancel or forfeit a game? And I guess obviously they haven't made that decision, but in your mind, how would you like to see that go?
Well, I don't know. Have you guys seen, is there anything out there about how many scholarship players you have to have? You guys seen that? Okay, so I was told somewhere that, that there is going to be a rule, and I don't know if that's an SEC or NCAA rule. So, someone told me that, you got to have a set amount, or else then, the game will be postponed, each week. I think it's something like 54 scholarship players. You got to have 1 quarterback, 6 offensive linemen, and 3 defensive linemen. Now, I don't know if that's passed or was proposed, but operations gave me that. So but that'll be interesting.
We'll go back to David.
Yeah, Lane, you mentioned in your opener about the distractions you guys faced over the weekend and everything. Do you feel like that's something that's going to be ongoing throughout the season? I'd just like to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I think that will be dictated more by what happens around the country. When something happens, that draws attention, to the issue, social injustice issues, I would think then you're going to see, reactions. So I definitely think it could be ongoing.
Neil, go ahead with your question.
Lane, you kind of touched on this a little bit. I'm curious.
1 sec, sorry.
Sorry.
On that note, and we've talked to our players about that, this is an issue going on around the country and that we're seeing, and that, is bringing attention to it, but this is not a local issue. This is not an issue with the police around here. And I've been here for a short time, but, people telling me and stuff that, they've been phenomenal around here. And so, that, our players marching or protest or whatever you refer to it as, that was not at all, so we're on the same page, that was not at all directed at anyone local, in this community, or anyone near here. So just make sure that we're on that same page. Sorry.
That's okay. I guess I'll follow up on that. I was going to ask something different, but do you all plan to meet with local law enforcement anytime soon to discuss those issues?
Yeah, we do. I believe that's happening this week, with players and local law enforcement. So, that should be really good.
My question I was going to ask was COVID related. Have you been given any sort of I guess a blueprint, like if a player tests positive on, I guess you guys are testing Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. If a player tests positive on Sunday, is he definitely out for Saturday? Is there something that has to happen between that Sunday and Saturday for him to play? And then if a player tests positive on that rapid test on Friday, and a lot of those have been proven not to be all that reliable, is there any recourse to double check that if the player has no symptoms and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I do not know the rapid answer. We have a call tomorrow that we're going to get more information on that. But the other one, it's going to go back to symptoms. So, you know, if the kid fails the test or tests positive on Sunday, you know, and had symptoms Friday, well, you're looking at 14 days from that Friday. So you're looking at 2 games. Then he's got to come back and make tests and work back in. So you potential of 3 games.
Nick, go ahead.
Yes, kind of going off of what Neil and Nate have asked. Do you know a threshold for what would have to happen, how many positive cases there would be for you guys to stop practicing? Has it gotten close, or is that kind of just a situation where you'd have to lose an entire position group?
I don't see us stop practicing because to me, you know, no matter what you have, if you got something, you can go work with those guys. So, you know, you're going to get to some point that, you know, 25 and 40 days. So I'm sure these guys that stop for a few days, they're going to make up those, but you're going to get to some point where there's no more spots to make up. So you'll just be wasting practices. So I'm sure we would still go out there no matter what we had and just work with whoever we had, even if you couldn't do all the drills.
All right, Nate, go ahead.
I mean, just a quick question. You said you moved all Saturday practice, or the Saturday scrimmage was Sunday. Did you guys practice on Saturday and replace it Friday?
I can't remember days anymore. Yeah, we were practicing. We were going to practice Friday, Saturday. Practice Friday, scrimmage Saturday. Then came in Friday, you know, and the players decided, you know, they wanted to, you know, do the march. And so we moved that practice to Saturday, and then Saturday's scrimmage to Sunday, and then gave them Monday off.
All right, we'll go to Ruby. Ruby, we can't hear you. Still can't hear you, Ruby. We'll go to Ben right now.
Yeah, Lane, now that Tavious Robinson is eligible and available for the defense, what is the staff, you guys as a staff, envision for him as far as role and how he can be utilized? Because I'm assuming y'all went and got him with the idea he'd contribute immediately.
We did, you know, obviously there's a little change in, you know, football for him. So, but he's doing really well. You know, has some really good pass rush tools. And so, you know, we look forward to incorporating that.
All right, we'll go to Nick.
Lane, a little bit bigger picture. You've coached conferences all over the country. Some of those won't be playing this year. Just from your perspective, do you think that college football can do a playoff and crown a champion without some of these conferences that usually play this year?
I had not thought of that, but yeah, I'm sure they can. What's the joke? You know, the 2 conferences that win the national championship are still playing, so I'm sure that they'll be able to.
All right, we'll go to Yancey.
Lane, how many scholarships do you have left over from the 2020 class, and when is the deadline to receive any more transfers?
I don't like to really get into the exact numbers for a number of reasons, but you know, the deadline usually is your add drop date, you know, for your classes, for your school. You know, when's the last day you can get someone in. So I think it would be hard to add a player. It would be hard to add a, you know, grad transfer right now. You know, we're so far into camp and stuff. Usually this late, if you're adding, it's more of someone that's, you know, got a number of years to play, and usually they have to sit the first year. So you're getting them in the program, and then they're ready a year from now.